Hey guys, welcome to the clubhouse. I'm Billy Jackson, and today's review is gonna be on 28 Years Later. Okay, now, first I have to give a shout out. I wore my Jaws t-shirt today because it is the 50th anniversary of Jaws this weekend, and I have to give a shout out to my number one horror movie of all time. That movie changed my life and the lives of everybody who went into the ocean ever since they saw that movie. So, anyway, wanted to give a shout out to Jaws. Happy 50th. Anyway, here we are, 28 years later. And I liked the first 28 days. I loved that movie. I thought it was very well made, and it was a different take on the zombie genre at the time it came out. And then 28 weeks later came out, and I thought that was pretty good too. You know, I'm not a big fan of the shaky cam. That's really the only thing I don't like about these movies is the shaky cam. But that being said, I still love the movies, and here we are with 28 years later, and I was really hoping it was going to live up to the other ones because, you know, horror being one of my favorite genres, I was really pumped for this movie after watching the trailers. And was it as good as the other ones? No! Unfortunately, guys, now I'm not going to say that this is a bad movie, okay? This is a good movie. It's just not a great movie. Unfortunately, you know, I'm not really big on the whole zombie movie going thing anyway, the whole genre of zombie apocalypse type stuff. But I like some stuff. I liked Walking Dead. I liked the first 28 movies, whatever you want to call them. But this really wasn't scary at all. That was the only disappointing thing about this movie. I mean, and the zombies were rarely in this movie. I mean, the zombies that you get are the zombies that you see in the trailers. And I think there's two trailers, and in both those trailers, you combine the zombies that you see in there, those are the zombies that you see in the movie. So that was disappointing for me. You know, like I said, this movie wasn't scary at all. There were a few moments, you know, that were suspenseful and a couple of slight scares, but nothing really that really got me in this whole entire movie. And that's because this movie focused on a young boy and in the beginning with his dad, you know, surviving in, you know, the world of the zombie apocalypse. And they live on an island, and they go to the mainland to kind of train the little boy to kill and to hunt and stuff like that. So I thought that premise was pretty cool. And the beginning of this movie was great. I mean, the first act, I'd say, was really good, and it really had me going like, okay, this is something big's going to happen in this movie. I could tell because it started off strong. But then it kind of nosedived after that. You know, it was really more about the family dynamic, and it focused on him and his son. And by the way, shout out to Aaron Taylor Johnson. I didn't even know he was in this movie. From the trailers, I didn't know that was him. But once I watched the movie, I saw that it was him, and I thought he did a fantastic job. Now, the acting in this movie was very well done. I have no qualms with that. The only thing I didn't like was how you felt like there was this impending doom coming and nothing ever came of it. You know, it ended really abruptly and kind of silly, in my opinion. I did not like the ending at all. I was kind of disappointed in it, honestly. But the movie was good in the sense that it had a good character development, and a movie like this shouldn't have great character development, in my opinion. I mean, it should have good character development, but it should have a lot of zombie scares and a lot of zombie death killing and stuff like that. You know, it's just, that's what I expect from a zombie movie. But we really didn't get it in this. I mean, we're introduced to what they call alphas, and they're kind of like animals on the mainland, the infected are. And they have an alpha that, you know, kind of leads groups of them and stuff like that, and they're like tough to take down, hard to kill, and they rip people's heads off and leave their spine, you know, kind of like a predator does. I thought that was really cool. I love the aspect of the alpha. But like I said, it focused on the kid and his father, like the first act, and then it kind of rolled over into him and his mother for the final half of the film, and which is fine with me. It was great to see how they interacted together as a family and how his son really cared about his mother. And I love that part, the storytelling of the movie. I just didn't like that it didn't have any scares, and it kind of slowed down, was really slow paced. And now, granted, it was slow paced, but I was engaged because I thought something was coming this whole movie. So I was ready this whole movie for something to happen, and nothing really big actually happened. They get chased by some zombies, they escape. They get chased by some zombies, and then they escape. And then they find this doctor, and they go into this whole spiritual thing about everything. And but anyway, it was just kind of getting to the point where I was like, come on, come on, come on. And then it just ended, and I left pretty disappointed. But anyway, it's not all about what I think. What do you think? Have you seen 28 Years Later? Do you plan on watching it? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like my videos and subscribe to my channel. And as always, make yourself happy every day. And the only way to do that is to remember the only thing stopping you is you stopping. Bam!